What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So, number one Sentai Gozyuger has been going on for basically like almost 15 episodes already. Yeah, we're almost one third of the way through the show, and like the novelty of the show is starting to wear off. Like, it doesn't feel like a new show anymore, and no, it's starting to feel like normal already. But even though with that said, let's talk about Gojuger toys. So, of course, I have here the deluxe Tegazord in my hand. So, if you are planning to buy Gojuger toys, what should you buy? Or what do you want to buy? So, I'm here to help you decide in this video. Now, I am not going to personally recommend anything, but I will tell you like the pros and cons of each item to at least help you decide more objectively. So, with that said, I'm going to first talk about the deluxe items, of course, starting with the Tegazord right here. So, I got this for more or less 7,000 yen. However, this is just like the Tegazord with the Sentai ring and the Tegazord red ring. So this is like this has lights and sounds, and of course you can turn it into the Tegazord Robo as well. So this is playable by itself. So for the price, I think it's a really worthy item. So you get basically two modes in one. So a transformation device slash weapon, and then you can change it into a robot with lights and sounds. And it's playable on its own. However, for those who want like a more complete experience, then why not go for the Naughty Kitty set? So you have your deluxe Tegazord, as you see here. Of course, it does come with the Tegazord red ring as well. However, it also comes with the other Gojuger rings, plus a Universe Senshi ring, and like the belt buckle that also serves as a storage for at least one Sentai ring. So if you want that like fuller experience with the Tegazord, then go for the Narikiri set, which should set you about 10,000 yen. I think it's a bit lower, like 9,000 something yen, but I'm saying 10,000 yen as some sort of like very close estimate. Now, let's talk about like Sentai rings. So, if you are trying to collect the Sentai rings that you can use with your Tegazord, so I have here, for example, the King Oger Universe Senshi ring. Now, this one actually is the candy toy version, but you can also get like the deluxe version as well. Size-wise, function-wise, the candy toy versions and the deluxe versions are basically the same. The difference is, so first off, so this one cost me about 440 yen, basically. So as it is a candy ring, so the only ring that you get here is this one. So basically the regular size ring, and not much else. So, however, if you're going for the deluxe version, well, like I've said, they are basically the same thing. The difference between this one and the deluxe version, if you buy the deluxe version, you actually get a set of two rings each. So it's basically almost the same price as if like you would buy two of these. So like let's say around 900 yen, but there is a difference, a significant difference between the candy toy and the deluxe version. So, like I mentioned earlier, so this is the only ring that you can get. However, the deluxe version comes with the bigger ring adapter, which is which makes it wearable for people with bigger fingers, especially adults. However, this is just the regular ring size that can be worn by children, or if you're like me, your fingers are small enough to fit in there. So yeah, I can wear it, I can remove it with no problem without the need for that adapter. Ironically, that adult version adapter is too big for me anyways. So again, if you want like two rings for I would say like it is like cheaper if you buy the pair, the deluxe version, and it comes with again like bigger ring adapters if you want to wear it and you have bigger fingers. Again, I do have to note that this is the ring size that is attachable to the Tegasword like this. Okay, so it won't work if you use the bigger ring adapters though. So you have to swap to the smaller ones. So yeah, so those are for the Sentai rings. Now, let's go on to the figures. Now, for the Ranger figures, you have three options. Number one, you have the Action Hero series. Now, I don't have Goju Wolf with me. I don't have one, but I have the Ranger version. So this is Tyranno Ranger. So yes, this is the Action Hero toy line version. So for reference, so basically like you get the same stuff or the same articulation as this guy. So it is an articulated model. So it is the action figure that is associated with Gozyuger. So there are already several figures out. Okay. So for 3,300 yen, you get again the figure and one weapon accessory. So in the case of Tyranno Ranger, so you have the Ryugekiken. If you go for the Gozyugers, they have the Tega Sword accessories with them. They don't have the individual weapons though. So the next figure that I'm going to talk about, if you're trying to get the Gojuger series, then the next one would be the Yudo figures. However, they're not out on the market just yet as of this recording, although they usually would be out around May or June. But uh, the Yudo figures are coming out in August, which makes them the most delayed Yudo in history of Super Sentai. Yeah, because again, typically every year, Super Sentai Yudos come out around this time of year, like I've said earlier. So uh, you can also get those as well. For let's say, well, things are getting more expensive nowadays, but I would say go for like 600 yen per box, and then you want to get two of those, so like set A and set B boxes in order to complete one figure, because like set A is only like the upper half and set B is the lower half. So yeah, you need both of them to complete just one ranger. So you have the Gojoojers, and presumably, so there's another figure in the Yudo series that's gonna come out alongside the core five, and presumably this would be Garyudo actually. So if you want a Garyudo figure, then the soonest possible one you can get would be the Yudo one. So let's assume you're gonna have to spend 1,200 yen for a figure like that. But if you complete the or if you complete one set, so of course you're gonna get the Gojuger figure of your choice, or you can buy all of them if you want. But for one set, so you get like the whole figure, like presumably two pairs of hands, like one for holding the accessories and also would serve as a fist, like the open hands that probably would be shaped like a claw, like this one. And of course, each Gojuger will have their Tega sword and their own signature weapon. Like, for example, Goju Wolf is going to come with the Wolf Decaliber and so on. So, if you're into that, then go for the Yudo. And it's also relatively the cheapest figures, of course. Now, if you want the best figure possible, then go for the SHF Goju Wolf. So, of course, it's very, very articulate, very, very posable. It comes with a lot of accessories. So, as for the weapon, it only has like the Tega sword with him. It doesn't have the Wolf Decaliber, but it will come with a special Sentai ring that you can use with the deluxe Tega sword. However, the only problem with that, so of course it's the most expensive figure in line with, I believe it's around 7,000, 8,000 yen, so almost the same price as this guy right here. But again, if you're going for the best possible action figure, then go for the SHF. Another caveat of that is uh, only Goju Wolf so far is announced, so we're not sure if Bandai is going to release the other Gojuger figures as well for the SHF. So, for the Action Hero series, um, comparing that to the Action Hero series, so Goju Tyranno and Goju Leon have been announced. So they are going to come out in at least with the Action Hero series, and I'm pretty sure that since uh, Goju Tyranno and Goju Leon are already confirmed to come out, so we can expect Goju Eagle and Goju Unicorn to come out in this toy line as well in the near future. So it's your pick, so on which figures you want to buy. Now, speaking of figures, so like I want to go back to Tegasword. So if you're going for the Tegasword, so you have options. So again, you can go for the deluxe Tegasword, and this by itself is completely playable, or so it has a lot of play value on its own. But transforming it into the Tega sword, so there is a bit of a catch here. So transforming into the Tega sword, so this guy doesn't really have a lot of articulation, so to speak. So some joints, like the arms, so you can move around on the shoulder, but like there are no elbow movements, there are no knee movements or leg movements. You can turn it around on the waist. Well, of course, that is part of the transformation gimmick. But if you're looking for a Tega sword with a lot of articulation, then probably the deluxe version may not be for you. However, you have also like the Action Hero series version of the Tega sword. So it is just slightly more expensive than this one, because the Action Hero version of the Tega sword, or Action Heroes rather, version of the Tega sword will get you around 3,500 yen, as opposed to the 3,300 yen for the Gojuger figures, the Red Rangers that will come out as well. So yeah, expect again more Red Rangers, by the way, for the Action Hero series in the near future. So if you want like a more articulate Tega sword, well, the Action Heroes version, however, will only have Tega Sword Red, or it only has Tega Sword Red for now. I'm not sure if Bandai is going to release the other Tegasword modes with the Action Heroes series. However, if you want the other uh, Tegasword forms, then we're gonna go back to the Deluxe Tegasword, and you can buy the other Gozyuger weapons, each sold separately, of course, like the Wolf Decaliber, or the Leon Buster, or the Tyranno Hammer. So each one should set you about 3,000 yen each. The Wolf Decaliber is a little over 4,000. So if you want, again, so the Tegasword to have like other modes, then you're gonna have to spend like another, let's say, 3-4,000 for each individual weapon, which will of course come with the a Gojuger Sentai ring. So you can also use for transformation sequences and whatnot. So that would at least increase the play value, but again, uh, like the downside to that, generally you don't have a lot of articulation. However, if you want multiple Tegasword modes and the best possible articulation, then the Minipla Tegasword may be the one for you. So if you want to complete the Tegasword, actually you will have to buy all 6 boxes for the first lineup. So if you complete all those 6 boxes, so you get 3 Tegasword modes. So Tegasword Red, Yellow, and Blue. So it is impossible to just stick with one though. Again, you're gonna have to complete all 3 modes because like one box contains parts for both Tegasword Red and Tegasword Blue, for example. Like the second box would contain parts for the Tegasword Red and Tegasword Yellow, and so on. So you get a mixed box. So to be sure, you're gonna have to buy all 6 Tegasword boxes for the Minipla. So you're gonna have to complete all 3 of them. The downside to that is, like, if you're not a fan of, like, let's say, Tegasword Red, you only want Tegasword Yellow, well, sorry, it's not gonna work for you because you're gonna be forced to buy both, uh, like, you're gonna be forced to buy parts that include Tegasword Red and Tegasword Blue parts anyway. Of course, uh, if you get those parts, then you're gonna have to then you're gonna make your Minipla Tegasword Yellow, for example. But you'll be left with Tegasword Red and Tegasword Blue parts that maybe you're not gonna use. And I think that could be a waste of money and space, but again, it is still relatively cheaper than the Deluxe Tegasword anyways. So it's still up to you. And the parts for Tegasword Black and Tegasword Green will come soon as well. So I guess that's another extra like 500-600 yen per box. So it's really up to you if you want to complete like the Tegasword set. So, but if you are going to do that, then what you would get would be like one Tegasword and then interchangeable parts to get the different modes. Again, example, like Tegasword Red, and I believe the Wolf Decaliber parts will also come up for the Minipla. So if you're gonna go for that, then you're gonna buy an extra box, spend extra money, and well, it's really up to you to interchange if you want. But again, it is still relatively cheaper to get like a set of those, considering instead of this one if you're going for just like the Tegasword and the different modes. So again, it is up to you. So, however, the best thing about the Minipla is that it does have the best articulation. So, if anyone out there, like, especially for gunpla builders, right? So it has the most articulation and points of motion, and it is also the most detailed. However, of course, you're gonna have to apply some stickers, or if you are a more serious plastic model enthusiast, then you might want to paint some of those color correcting areas, or rather the parts that may need some color correcting. So again, those things are up to you, but I would say as like visually striking, then yeah, the mini plat Tegasword should be the best looking Tegasword version that I could probably recommend to you if you are into that. But again, at the end of the day, it's all your choice. So if you're going for the deluxe, go for this one. If you're going to buy like action figures, well, there you have options. So like the cheapest would be the Yudo, the most expensive would be the SHF, or if you want like other Red Rangers, well, so far the action hero series would be the only way to get them, honestly. But again, if you're going for the Gojugers only, then I would say like for variety, then it's either this or the uh, Yudo. So you decide. But yeah, there are so many Gojuger toys that are out actually, and again, considering that the lineup is still updating, like a new Ranger is coming out soon, and definitely there are gonna be toys that are associated with the new Ranger, and yeah, you're gonna have to wait for more information on that as well. And yeah, there are again so many things to look out for and look forward to actually, because yeah, new toys definitely. I'm excited to know what kind of power-ups the Gojugers are gonna have, if they are going to get power-up forms, of course. But so far, I hope this video helps you decide which kind of toys you would buy in relation to Gojuger, of course. So with that said, this this has been Philip. Thank you for watching, and as always, please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.